You know, right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. And boy, oh boy, do we have an entertaining guest for you all today. Nick Durst here, along with Joe Calabrese. Joe, our guest today, some would call her a trailblazer, a history maker, but I think she would call herself calculated, composed, and versatile. So why don't you let everybody know who we have with us here today?
The podcast that covers sports and media and entertainment and pop culture, and that is soon becoming a Big Brother exclusive podcast because we have had so many guests on, and we're going to have so many guests on with us in the future. But you're right, calculated, composed, versatile, incredibly entertaining. Thank you for joining us today. Hannah, Chaddha, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
You guys are so sweet for that. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. It's a beautiful Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, and I wouldn't want to be spending my time with anyone else doing anything else. So let's get into it.
All right, so we're in New York, we're freezing. You're used to the cold as well. It's Chicago. So
Yes.
about a month and a half ago, we had a little podcast business trip. Went out to Las Vegas, Joe and I, and we got Joe to try Chicago deep dish pizza for the first time at Giordano's at the Valleys Casino, which is, of course, from Chicago. So the
Yes.
question for you is, what is the best deep dish pizza in Chicago, and are you actually a fan of it?
Okay, so what's interesting is out of the native Chicagoans that I've met, we don't really eat deep dish pizza.
Wow.
That's more of like a tourist
Tourist
attraction.
thing, right?
I'm sure New York has a lot of entities that only tourists are drawn to. Like, how often do you guys go to the Empire State Building? Probably
Never in my
not.
life.
Exactly. So it's one of those things, but I have had deep dish pizza a couple times from Lumonati's and Giordano's. I'd have to say Giordano's is better out of those two, but I've heard Rico Bene's on the south side is really good, and then Pequod's on the north side is really good. So maybe one of these days I'll have to try those joints, but deep dish pizza isn't really on our radar.
Yeah, I mean, we're in New York here, so of course, coming up, the big New Year's Eve ball drop. And the way you can know you're not from New York, the way you know you're from New York is if you've never been to New Year's Eve in Times Square, because that's the
Yeah,
last place you want to go. So avoid the tourist
exactly.
traps.
Yeah, no, my one of my really good friends from back home went to the ball drop in 2021, I want to say, or maybe it was 2022, one of those years, but she had to wait for I think 14 hours. It was raining, it was snowing, it was cold. I was like, Michaela, that's her name. Why would you subject yourself to that? And she was like, it's iconic. Hannah, I don't think you know what you're missing. Listen,
Did she wear a
You're
diaper?
uh, honestly, that would be a good strategy.
Right.
That's probably what I would do. You know, I just wouldn't go.
Smart.
Yeah, I
It's
just
hard to
wouldn't
do
go.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Avoid it with all costs. That's for sure.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me enough to be there. Unless I got to hang out with like Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, then I'm not going.
Well, Andy Cohen, he's the best. So what is your favorite Real Housewives franchise?
Are you guys Housewives fans or Bravo fans?
I'm a mega Bravo and Housewives fan.
Stop, Nick.
Me
Okay,
and my
well,
wife, we sit on the couch. We just
mhm.
absorb all this stuff, all the Housewives, Summer House. I mean, I just Winter House, can't get enough of this stuff.
Wait, you got to tell her where we were at over the summer.
So over the summer, Hannah, we were at a comedy show taping. We were backstage, and we were hanging out with our guy Joe Gorga.
No way.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Wait, okay, first of all, I love the fact that you have just allowed yourself to get into Bravo because there's such a stigma surrounding reality TV in general, but especially around Bravo shows. People think that they're trashy or only for women, specifically older women. But that's not the case at all. Like I can confidently say that anyone I've ever introduced to any Bravo show has fallen in love with it right off the bat. So embrace your love of Bravo is the one thing that should be taken away from this podcast. But I'd have to say my favorite franchise is Real Housewives of Potomac, just out of the Housewives. I love Potomac. Oh my gosh. There's not a single housewife that I don't like on that show, but I'm not Mia and Robin's biggest fan this season. I'm not sure.
Mia bothers me. She thinks that she's hot shit.
Yeah, and she's also, well, did you watch the most recent episode where she tossed? Okay, yeah, that was just completely
Why'd you toss the
uncalled
drink?
for. Yeah, and Wendy didn't even say anything about Mia's husband. I think she tossed the drink, and then Wendy was like, "Well, if you want to attack me with your beverage, then anything's fair game now. I'm gonna say what I feel like I need to say to defend myself." But I just find it very ironic that the women were so quick to chastise and isolate Monique for getting physical with Candace, which she shouldn't have done that. Yet they're over here consoling Mia and comforting her and telling her that that behavior was excusable. So that I don't like. Robin also just like sitting there recording the whole thing and egging Wendy
Stirring the
on.
pot.
I didn't like that at all. But prior to this season, there wasn't a single housewife that I wasn't a fan of on Potomac. But Vanderpump Rules has my heart. That's like the first
Okay.
Bravo show that I got into.
So my power rankings, Real Housewives of New Jersey, that's my favorite. Most relatable for us here in this area, like with the family aspect and stuff.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Would love for them to bring back some of the originals like
Mhm.
Caroline Manzo, Kathy Wakili. I think it's time to bring them back. Getting a little sick of the same storyline every year, which is like Team Melissa versus Team Teresa. It's kind of like enough already now. But we'll see. We got the new season coming out next year. We got Teresa's wedding special. Of course, Joe didn't go to Teresa's wedding, so should be some good TV. Number two franchise that I really like. I love Salt Lake City. It's pretty wild. I don't know if you caught that one, but we'll see. Jen Shah, she's going to jail.
Are you Team Jen?
No, I can't be Team Jen. She admitted that she was guilty. So at this point,
when they were filming this last season, wasn't she still claiming to be innocent?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say you had no outside knowledge of her guilt in her case. Would you have been Team Jen, or would you be Team Jen?
I don't think I'm going to be Team Jen just because the way she was presenting herself going through this legal battle, and she's still like spending thousands of dollars on her wardrobe and her hair and her eyebrows. So I'm more team Heather Gay when it comes to this. So I'm gonna take her side. So it's like my top two. Beverly Hills, I'm getting kind of sick of. It's like the same storylines, but I'm definitely Team Kathy Hilton and Kathy Hilton versus Lisa Rinna. I think Lisa Rinna's got to go. Enough for her already. Do you watch Beverly Hills at all?
Yes. So I actually watch every single franchise except Jersey and Dallas and Miami. But
so
Dallas,
everybody except three.
Yeah.
Jersey's the best. The worst one to me is Dubai. I hated that first season.
I haven't seen Dubai.
You don't want to see it. Avoid that one. But also,
my mom really likes it.
It depends. To me, it was kind of a boring first season. We'll see the second season. But New York City was so bad the last 3 seasons. So I'm glad they canceled that cast. Now they'll bring back the new cast. But I love the Girls Trips spinoffs on Peacock.
I haven't seen those because
you're missing out.
I know I've been told that they're so good, but I think both seasons came out while I was in the house or like shortly after. So there was just a lot happening up here and I couldn't really focus.
So let's say, Hattie, Andy comes here. He says, I want you to cast the next Girls Trip. You could pick 6 housewives all over. Don't go like 3 from a show. You could do maybe 2 max. Give me your cast of 6.
Ooh, okay. Current housewives or including former housewives?
Former and current.
Okay. I love Atlanta, so I have to bring 2 girls from Atlanta. I'm gonna have to go with Nene and let's go Nene and Kenya. I know Kenya was on the first season. So am I allowed to recast her?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Okay. Nene and Kenya or Nene and Portia, because Portia hasn't done it. So let's do Nene and Portia. Okay, no, scratch that. Okay, Nene and Sheree, not Nene and Portia. Nene, Sheree, let's go with Giselle, even though she's done it. and Candace has done it too, but I really want to cast. Okay, Giselle and Ashley. And
Mhm.
then let's go with Brandy Glanville's done it. I know this, but Brandy Glanville, she always brings the mess. And let's go with Bethany Frankel.
Ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, 6 is too small. Like,
Right.
so many housewives have been iconic over the years. So 6 is hard.
I would want to go like for all the dramas. So
Okay.
I'd
So
probably
who would you pick?
go. I'd probably go Danielle Staub from New Jersey.
Ooh,
Uh,
okay.
definitely go with her. Bethany's got to be there from New York.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go either Erica Jane or Lisa Vanderpump. So one of those
Oh,
two.
okay. Lisa would be great. Yes, I
Jen
agree.
Jen Shah, she's got to be there.
Okay.
And uh the Grand Dame, put her in there from Potomac.
Okay. Yes.
Nene 100%.
Hmm.
So I think that's kind of like the direction and Larsa Pippen. I put her in there, and that would be my cast, I think.
Okay, your cast is more diverse amongst all the shows. So I don't think you have more than like 2 people
Right.
from one franchise.
Yeah.
And like I said, never seen Miami, never seen Dubai, Jersey, or
Mhm.
Dallas. So I can't speak to Larsa Pippen, but
Okay.
in the tabloids, she's messy.
I
So
haven't seen Miami, but I know Larsa Pippen from the Kardashians and stuff. So,
hmm
but
hmm
Joe, give us your ultimate girls trip here as someone who does not watch the shows at all. Give us
Okay.
some names you know of. Name
It's
somebody you know.
way above my pay grade. Way above my pay grade. But I know Les Pippen. I know Lisa Renner. I obviously know Melissa Gorga, right?
Mm,
Because we. I'm trying to think. I mean, if you gave me some time, I could remember a couple more.
mhm.
My mom used to watch like New Jersey and Beverly Hills, and
So,
she
Hannah,
watched one more.
do you watch Summer House or Below Deck or anything?
Yes, okay, but not Below Deck, but Below Deck Med.
Okay,
And
spin-off.
yes, I watched Summer House, but I've never gotten into Winter House because I've never really felt connected with the cast of Southern Charm.
Me neither.
Um, so yeah, I do Summer House. I watch Below Deck Med. Um, I've seen Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Um, I watch pretty much 75% of Bravo shows. But I
Any?
have met, I'm sorry,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I met Paige pretty recently at an event,
Oh,
and I was like, Paige, Miss Girl, you're
love
one of
it.
my favorites. And she was like, how old are you? Because I look really young and I'm also not even 5'2". So she was like looking down at me like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 22. Don't worry, I'm legally allowed to be here, but I'm just such a big fan of yours. And she was like, you are so cute. Thank you.
Hannah, what would you do if Bravo came to you and were like, we want you on Winter House or Summer House next season?
Say less.
All right.
Say less. Well, I'm in contract with CBS, so I
All
wouldn't be
right.
able to do that. But assuming there was no contract, I would
Down the
jump over to
line.
Bravo in a heartbeat. Oh
All
my
right.
gosh. Yeah.
Sounds good. Do you watch any other channels like reality TV, like TLC or anything? Or just all Bravo?
It's all Bravo and then like the competition
Right.
reality shows on
CBS,
CBS,
MTV. Gotcha.
MTV. Yeah,
Sounds
exactly.
good.
And Dancing with the Stars because I'm a dancer as well.
I guess
Ah,
that's a good segue, right?
Yeah.
Am I back? Am I back involved in this? Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
you watch Dancing with the Stars?
no, I
Vinny should
don't.
have won this season. And Wayne Brady should have won at least.
Um, well, just because it's half judges and half reliant on the fan vote, I just didn't feel like anyone was beating Charlie in the fan vote because
No.
homegirl literally has 100 million followers, 100 plus
That's how
million.
the Miz got screwed last season when he was great, but he went up against JoJo in the elimination.
Exactly.
He got no shot.
Exactly. And all Charlie has to do is just post to her TikTok with like the link to vote or the number to text and boom. I think Tyra and Alfonso announced that they received like a record number of votes this season. And that's probably because of Charlie. And also, she was the best dancer because she's a professionally trained dancer. I I enjoyed watching her as someone who comes from a competition dance background. However, I think the competition needs to be more equitable. That's like having a singing competition for amateurs and then you bring in Christina Aguilera. Like, of course, Christina Aguilera is going to
There should
win.
be no professionals allowed.
I think so too. Like I said, I enjoyed watching her. She's great technically wise. She's perfection, but I just thought it was unfair that like I get that Gabby has a dance background and Wayne has a dance background and Shangela also has like a performing background, but I think there's a difference between like getting paid to exclusively dance and then just dancing as part of something else. So those are my thoughts. But my sister surprised me with Dancing with the Stars tickets a couple weeks ago. So we got to go to a live taping, and it was during the first double eviction when Vinny from Jersey Shore and Heidi, Charlie's mom, went home. So that was a blast.
So you mentioned you do competitive dancing. You're a competitive hip hop dancer.
Yes.
So when did you start dancing? Because Nick and I, we grew up with a lot of girls over here in the South Shore of Staten Island, and they started very, very, very young. They started 3, 4, 5. My little cousin, she's a little more into gymnastics, but she does competitive dancing too. A lot of them do like the cheer stuff too, right? So it all kind of blends in. But when did you start?
Yeah. So I started dancing when, okay, technically when I was 6, I did Bollywood because my dad's Indian. And I did that for a couple years. And then when I was 9, I want to say I transitioned from Bollywood to ballet, jazz, tap, hip hop, contemporary, all of those styles. And I did that from 9 until 12. And then during my last year at my dance studio, I picked up hip hop as well. And I think I've always been better at ballet, but hip hop is just more fun for me. And it's also more practical because once you get past a certain age, your body just isn't able to do ballet as well as it once was. So I hung up my ballet shoes. Oh, I was also a contortionist, which is like a random fun fact about myself. But now I only do hip hop. I did cheer for a bit, sucked at it. So we're not even gonna really talk about it. And yeah, I joined a professional hip hop dance company ranked 4th in the nation in college, and I performed with them. And then COVID happened. So that kind of put everything to a screeching halt. And then in the middle of COVID, got cast for the show, was locked away for 4 months, came out of the house, and now I just take hip hop class because I travel a lot. So I can't really be on a team or do anything that's too, or that would require me to be too grounded. So I'd say now it's more so a hobby than a sport or something that I get paid to do.
What is your favorite song to dance to?
Oh, that's a question that I've never gotten before.
We asked the hard hitting questions here.
Yes, I love it. I love it. You're making me think. Okay, have you guys heard of swag surfing?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It's okay, it's an
Cool.
old song from like the early 2000s. I can't even tell you who it's by, but it's just one of those songs like the Cupid Shuffle, where
Okay.
you hear it and then everyone or
Does
a
it?
lot of people know the dance to it, and it just brings everyone together and everyone's in high spirits and all smiles. So I'd have to say swag surfing.
Yay or nay on Taylor Swift?
I'm sorry?
Yay or nay on Taylor Swift?
I'm gonna have to go with nay.
Ooh, Nick don't like
Yeah.
that. He doesn't
But
like
oh,
that.
you guys are Swifties?
I would
He
say
is.
I'm the Swiftie here out of the two of us for sure. But I feel like the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now because she's dead. She's kind of changed, you know. She's a little different.
Are you more so into her old music or her new music?
I would say more so her old music, you know, Red, the 22 stage and stuff, Ready for It, went to the concert there. I met MetLife Stadium. And then next day I proposed to my wife. So it just has a special tie there. We danced to Lover as our first dance at our wedding by Taylor Swift. So there's some sentimental value there to some Taylor Swift in my life. So I gotta like her. But I feel like as a person, she's kind of changed. A little different these days.
Really? Do you think that's just like a maturity thing, or is she trying to live a more private life? What do you think's happening there?
I just think when you
I, fe-
go
I, f-
when you
I
go to
feel like
California in the entertainment industry,
I feel like she's become a little more about the money and as opposed to the
Oh,
fans. Like,
okay.
so Joe,
I
wasn't there
think,
like a whole disaster recently with Ticketmaster where
yeah.
people going to get her tickets and instead of like releasing a statement, she just did a quick Instagram story. It was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
well, the real problem is that the secondary sites and bots
Horrible.
immediately buy the tickets, right? And
Mm,
that's a problem. They flood the sites. And if you don't have any access to like a pre-sale code or something like that, in this case, you got totally shut out, right? So that's
oh,
significantly a problem.
so it had nothing to do with her.
No, but I wasn't really quite a huge fan of how she handled it. I think she should
Mm,
have handled it in a deeper kind of way. Like, it wasn't really extensive, right? It was just kind of like a simple, like my PR person's gonna write this kind of response to this, right?
mm.
Almost as if like, again, like Nick said, maybe she is a little bit more about the money at this point, but I mean, I don't necessarily see that. You don't know what these people are like in their personal lives.
You
You
know,
don't.
Yeah,
it's none of our business.
She does care about her fans. That's
I'm
what I think
sure.
anyway.
I honestly know next to nothing about her. I used to listen to, I think the last album I actively listened to from her was 1989,
Yeah.
and I kind of fell off when it came to her music, but she seems like a sweet girl. I don't really have any problems with her. I just,
Who's your favorite female pop star?
oh, okay, of all time,
Yes.
Sure.
or okay. I don't have one, but I would have to say Whitney Houston, Madonna, Britney Spears,
Yeah.
um,
All good answers.
Beyonce, Rihanna, Ariana Grande.
Cannot wait for Rihanna at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she's gonna be
Same.
awesome. Yeah, she's gonna
Oh
be
my,
good.
it's probably gonna be like the most watched halftime show in history. I
Yep.
wonder how much she's making
A lot.
off that. Like it's gotta be a nine-figure deal. I would not be surprised.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let's get back to you. We got sidetracked a
Okay.
little bit here. Uh,
No worries, no
but
worries.
you're a bioethics master's student, right?
Mhm,
So tell
mhm.
us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you guys did your research. I'm impressed. What's funny is on the show, I walked into the house and I lied about pretty much everything. I told people that I
We
was,
remember.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
So I told
that
people
was your strategy.
it was part of my strategy. And also, who doesn't want to lie in the Big Brother house? You know, everything's fair game. Why not? As a super fan, that's just something that I wanted to do, whether or not I felt like it bared much impact on the game. But walking into the house, for those of you who don't know, I said that I was an undergrad student studying fashion. I'm actually a third year master's student studying biomedical ethics. Um, so, because I wasn't able to discuss that on the show, a lot of people aren't even aware that I'm still in school. They don't know what it is that I actually do outside of reality TV. But I initially became drawn to biomedical ethics because the pandemic had just hit and we were confronted with a lot of pressing issues in medicine. And I felt like we didn't have the answers to those questions. And I also wanted to give myself a very unique perspective going into medical school because my goal is to become a doctor. And I felt as though the medical humanities aren't incorporated in medical school education as much as they should be. So I wanted to give myself that advantage and that leg up before going to medical school. So that's how I found biomedical ethics. And I actually graduate in December 8th. So that's what, like 2 weeks and one day from
Mm.
today. Yeah, really.
So when you watched Big Brother growing up, were you always drawn to the doctors? Did you always root for them?
So I did not start watching Big Brother until January of 2021.
Oh, so
Wow, another late bloomer.
A
Just
very late bloomer.
just
Yeah.
like we had Kylan on recently with us. And
Mm,
Kylan was like, "Wow, my friend said got to keep watching, got to keep watching. Finally got him to watch it. And he was like, I love this. Why
Yeah.
didn't I watch this sooner? Was it like similar with you?
Pretty much. Nick, as you know, Brandy and Candy were on Celebrity Big Brother. So that's how I was introduced to the whole franchise.
That was a good season.
Oh my gosh. Celebrity season 2 with Tamar, Lolo,
Eva
Cam-
Marie, Ryan Lochte. Oh,
Yes, that is one of like the best seasons of Big Brother, period, in my opinion.
I like that one. I love that they got Ryan Lochte like a standstill like pool in the backyard so he could train for the Olympics.
Yes,
He's just
exactly.
paddling all the time.
But
So
yeah,
Real Housewives got you into Big Brother.
yes, like if I didn't have Real Housewives, I don't know if I would have stumbled on the show. But I was just curious. I fell sick with COVID, was quarantining in my room with nothing to do for 14 days. So I was like, oh, what's this? Immediately got hooked and went back and binged every single season from 8 to 22. So I haven't seen 1 through 7 yet. And I've heard that those are like some of the best seasons, the golden age, if you will. But yeah, that's how I got into it. And I wasn't even going to apply. I just genuinely fell in love with the show. But it was my sister who was like, Hannah, you actually turned 21 the week before the age cutoff. Why don't I make your video and do your application for you and submit it on your behalf? So she took care of everything. I still haven't seen my application, but this little 17-year-old was like, I will write out your talking points. I'll film your video. I'll edit it. I will dress you. I'll figure out lighting. I'll write your application. I'll send it in. And I was like, okay, Simone, that's all you. Yeah, never expecting to hear back from them until I did, like 4 weeks after we submitted it. And the rest was history.
So what was your reaction to being casted on the show? Because remember, you were young. You, at this point, weren't really a super fan. Most people who apply to the show are usually super fans trying to get on the show. So you were kind of, maybe not a novice, but again, somebody with not total familiarity. And there's this small window, a period of time where you find out you're going to be on the show and then you're going into the house. And for most people we had on, it's frantic. Did you rush to go out shopping at all or get stuff together? So what was that time period like when you found out you were going to be on the show?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so to give you a bit of context, during the entire casting process, I was in school full time, had 2 internships, and was also studying for the medical school entrance exam. And that took up about like 30 to 40 hours of my week. So I was so preoccupied with other things. And then from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single day, I would watch BB, I would take notes, and then I would wake up at 8 or 9 a.m. and do everything all over again. So I feel like I didn't even have much time to be stressed. Oh, I was also working full time. Yeah. And then I took my finals literally the morning that I left for the show. Like I woke up at 4 a.m., did my exams, then the camera crew came at 7 a.m. to start filming. So there wasn't really, like I said, I didn't have enough downtime to be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I'm going to be on TV. Like, what am I going to wear? How am I going to present myself? I better not mess up. I don't want to embarrass my family. Like, I just did not have the mental bandwidth to have any of those racing thoughts. I was pretty like cool, calm, and collected about everything because I was very much like, if this works out for me, it'll be a dream come true. But if it doesn't, I have all of this other stuff lined up and I'll just continue on life's trajectory and everything will be okay. And more than anything, I was just excited to play the game. And like you said, I was a novice. You're right. I wasn't a true super fan, someone who grew up watching the show, someone who does the live feeds and tweets about the season. But I do think that there's a difference between knowing the game and understanding the game. And while I might not have known the game as well as someone who's been watching the show since 2000, I felt like my understanding was relatively up to par. Now, when I walked into that house, everyone was smart. Quite literally every single person was intelligent. So They definitely gave me a run for my money more than I was anticipating, but it was just the basically from February until October when we got out of the house, it was nothing but a good experience for me. Like even if they would have cut me in casting, I had a lot of fun during the casting process. It just so happens that I made it onto the show, but I look back at those 9 months with nothing but fondness.
When did you realize that you were the youngest contestant in the show history?
Um, After they told me that I would be on the show, because well, actually no, during the application process, I looked it up to see when other 21-year-olds had their birthdays, and no one's birthday was as late as mine. So from there, I was like, if I get on, unless, there was someone who was born on May 20th, then I'm going to be the youngest person in history since they implemented the cutoff.
Oh, am I supposed to go now? Well, she mentioned her birthday, Nick. So my favorite question, we may have to ask it now.
Mhm.
What I do is I usually ask people their zodiac signs.
Mm.
So that's the question that we have at the very, very end, because usually nobody says their birthday in the middle of the show. But you kind of like spoiled that a little bit. So it doesn't
My
really
bad.
make sense to ask you. But you'll say you're a cuss, right? But you're a Taurus, right?
Well, my birthday's May 13th.
May 13th.
Yeah, I just threw out May 20th as like someone who could have a later birthday than me, but yeah, I'm a Taurus.
Okay, you are a Taurus. Okay.
Yeah.
So
What about you guys?
Nick is a Gemini. I hate Geminis. They're the worst.
Oh, really? Well, Nick, can I guess your birthday?
Yes.
Is it June? Okay, you're a June Gemini, correct?
I'm wrong.
No, he's a May
You're a
Gemini.
May Gemini? Are you May 28th?
It's
Nope.
close.
In the 20s, though.
Okay, 26th?
Close, but no.
Hot.
27th?
Oh,
No,
don't get
you
colder
went the
now.
other.
29th?
You went.
No, you're really cold now.
You went the other way.
Okay, 25th?
Yes.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I was
then
born
what
on
about you?
Memorial Day in 1992.
Oh, cool. I was born on Friday the 13th.
Oh, what does that say about the zodiac sign, Joe?
It means I'm evil. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I don't know if there's any like weird kooky.
So what's May
things with it.
13th? What is that? What is the significance of that with the zodiac sign?
It's Taurus. It's just an earth sign, fixed sign. So Tauruses love lavish things, right? But they also love being around the home, right? So like doing like decorating around the home. They are also like the types who would want to eat pizza in bed and just like stay in bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So
Yeah.
she kind of agrees with that.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick was May 25th. He was born Memorial Day 1992. Can you guess my birthday?
Okay, well, you're obviously not a Gemini. Otherwise, you wouldn't hate Nick
He's a
for
very
being.
I don't hate Nick.
He's a very patriotic guy. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you July 4th?
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All three of us were kind of born on significant days. Some more
Oh, yeah.
significant than others. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I when I first met Nick, I never put two and two together that May 25th that year was Memorial Day. And then one day he said it out loud, and I was like, you're born on Memorial Day. I'm born on July 4th. We have a podcast together called You Know I'm Right. I mean, it so neatly fits, you know?
I think Hannah needs to host a Halloween podcast next year.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Even though my birthday sometimes falls on Mother's Day, so I could do that
Yeah.
as well.
So I have a cousin whose birthday and one of my best friends, they're both May 9th. So that can fall on Mother's Day. But all my cousins are born on holidays. I have a cousin who's September 2nd, it's Labor Day. My other cousin is tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving. And then another cousin's December 24th, which is Christmas Eve. And then my other cousin is May 29th, which can also fall on Memorial Day, right? So it's like we're all holiday birthdays, right? It's weird.
That's so interesting. I wonder what that means.
What does it mean, Nick?
Probably means nothing.
Wow, way to go. Anyway, back to the Big Brother questions. What was your favorite and least favorite part of being on the show?
Ooh, oh my God, this is gonna sound cliche, but I don't have a least favorite. Oh, okay. Well, my least favorite part about being on the show was after the show ended. Um, I think if you were to ask any BB player, it's very challenging and just mentally and emotionally taxing to transition back into society after being locked up and isolated for so long. So that was something that took a toll on my health. Um, and it was just like that period was so overstimulating because your phone's always blowing up. And like I forgot how my parents and my sister sounded in that house. I forgot the names of some of my friends. I forgot basic facts about myself that I most definitely should not have forgotten. And I think everyone has to disassociate to be okay in that house, to
Mhm.
be okay with the lying and the deception and the cheating and the scheming. So just having to like relearn who I am, that was hard. But luckily I had such a wonderful cast to lean on. A ton of us stayed in Los Angeles for like 3.5 weeks after our season wrapped. It was myself, Kyland, Tiffany, and Derek X. So as a result, I kind of sort of maybe developed a codependency on them. But they were just so like patient with me and yeah, they're the best. I love them. Let's see. The best part would probably have to be the cookout getting to final six, day 65. Just us realizing that we were as a unit, but also as individuals, conducive in making history and looking around and knowing that even if it wasn't myself or Tiffany or this person or that person, we would have a Black winner for the first time in the history of the show, which was so long overdue. And it was thanks to no one but the six of us. So that was such a surreal and special moment in my life. And I think it's something that I'm going to cherish for the rest of my years.
What was your least favorite thing physically about the house? Was it the lights? Was it the showering, bathroom situation? Anything bother you at all?
No, I you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I was ever caught complaining, but
I don't think so.
I was just I was so happy to be there. Like even when I was put on slop, even when I was put on the block, I was like, wait, I'm sitting in the same nomination chair that Davon sat in last season. Or I'm showering in the same shower or in the same bathroom that Ian used or Bailey or this
Ian is the
person.
best.
Like,
He's so underrated. Oh my God. He's one of the
oh,
best.
no,
Ian.
I definitely wanted to emulate his strategy, but I wanted to come across as like more disarming than him because it was very obvious that he was incredibly intelligent and people got spooked by that. So I wanted to play like him, but I wanted to feel more of like the cute young baby little sister archetype. But yeah, I was just always thankful to be in that house playing my favorite game, something that I was recently introduced to, but I ended up loving so quickly. And I learned a lot about myself in the house. I learned a lot about the game. I learned a lot about other people and how to work with different personalities from my own. So it was such a valuable experience. And I literally can't say that there was anything I disliked. Maybe the colors of the house, the decor could have been, nicer. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it changes year to year. It
Oh,
depends.
actually, I do have a complaint about the house. I'm pretty
Ooh,
sure there was mold on the ceiling of the HOH room.
Yeah.
ooh,
So yeah, maybe that.
that counts.
Yeah.
A little better upkeep there next time, hopefully.
Mhm. Right.
So very clearly, you were just so thrilled just to be there.
Yeah.
You loved every competition that you participated in, I imagine. Uh, so
Everyone.
you, so you can answer this either way, however you like. Uh, what do you think the worst competition was? And if you love being in every competition, then what was your favorite?
Okay, well, I will give you the worst competition. Probably. Ugh, no, I still liked playing in this. Okay, well, Prior to I want to say the wall competition, I threw every single one. Um just because I didn't feel that there was a need for me to win. I felt like I was insulated with the cookout, with my team members, and with other allies. So I guess all of those competitions, because I would have loved to have been able to try and see, like, or almost like gauge my performance. But my favorite competition, BB Comics. Oh my gosh, getting the cape and then getting to do like the poses before, and then getting on the zip line and like falling from the zip line. Oh my gosh. I just ecstatic. I was ecstatic to be in that house from
Nick,
day 1 to day 72 when I was evicted.
Nick, we have another BB Comics lover. It's one of the best.
Yeah, and like even the competition where I went home with the bleep, that was the veto that I lost to Kyland. Like I still had fun, even though I knew my BB life was on the line and I lost. Like I really have no complaints. It was Brent that got me. I saw his face and I literally just blacked out. I was like, oh my gosh, not the ghost of Brent Pass. And I wasn't listening to what he said and I got the question wrong. And then I lost $750,000, but tomato.
Who currently has ownership of that awesome sweatshirt that you and Derek X always wore in the confessionals?
Oh, someone stole it from him
Oh,
in Argentina when they were filming the Challenge USA.
oh,
So
oh.
no one, but Alyssa did buy him a pretty similar sweatshirt. So he wears that now.
Now, was that
But
his sweatshirt coming in, or how did you guys get that sweatshirt on Big Brother?
yeah, no, it was his sweatshirt.
Okay.
And I think a majority of his clothes were confiscated from him because he didn't pack according to the guidelines.
Mm.
So Derek maybe had like 3 hoodies, 3 t-shirts, and the audience saw a lot of him in that hoodie, so that just became known as like his hoodie, whereas other people had more options to choose from. So you didn't really see us in the same thing more than a couple times throughout the summer. But once he left, he gave it to me, and then I gave it back to him once I saw him in jury, and then he got it stolen in Argentina.
What a shame. What
I
a
know.
shame.
I know. I'd be so mad.
So were you surprised months later when you find out that Derek and Claire were so serious and dating?
No, not at all. They, well, let's see. I don't want to like speak on the timeline of their relationship, because that's their business.
Right.
But um, Derek and I have always been good friends. I think it was obvious that we cared about each other a lot in that house, and we still care about each other. And I love him in my own way. Like I love each and every member of my
Mm-hmm.
cast in different ways. So
Tell
it didn't.
me about the ways you love Frenchie.
Okay, well, actually, I can say something nice about every single person on our
Okay.
cast. With Travis, he has a mind for business. He's incredibly accomplished at such a young age. So props to him. He's also hilarious. Frenchie, I admire how much he loves his kids and his family,
Absolutely.
and he's
Yep.
super protective over them. With Brent, he's funny. He loves his family. I can tell that he grew up with solid family values. And I do think that despite the fact we didn't really gel on the show, he's a caring person and he's thoughtful. With Whitney, again, just a super mom and business savvy and just very comfortable in her own skin. With Christian, he is one of the purest spirits I know. Brittany, same deal. She's just such a bright light, and so necessary in this world. With Derek X, I love how he um, sort of has this like childlike innocence about him, and he hasn't been jaded by life, and that's something that's really beautiful to me. With Claire, I always learn something new from her, and she's just so dang smart. With Sarah Beth, she isn't afraid to speak her mind, and that's very respectable. With Alyssa, she's another person who's really held my hand throughout this whole journey, and I'm very glad that her and I have gotten the chance to get close to one another. And with the cookout, they're all flops. But yeah, no, wasn't surprised about Derek and Claire. I love each of them as individuals, and them together, they remind me of like Katie and Tom Schwartz almost. Just the dynamic that they have, they're really entertaining. So yeah.
Didn't work out for Katie and Tom Schwartz, didn't it?
I'm sorry?
Didn't the Schwartzes go their separate ways?
No, I mean like during their prime.
Okay.
Yeah, like when they had each other's backs, when they were a partnership, when they were a union, the dynamics are very similar. So I adore those two.
Now, do you think you would be called back to return for an all-star season if they decided to call you? And
No.
do you think you would have won another season of Big Brother?
Okay, well, do I think I would be called back for an all-star season? Probably not. If other people decline because they have their own things going on, then they may work their way down the list and be like, Chaddha,
We can't get anybody else from your season. Can you can you come
well, no, I don't. If they were just casting from BB23 for an all-star season and, maybe they wanted 4 of us, I think I would probably have a good chance of being in that list.
in?
But they're probably not going to want 4 people from the same season. So
Yeah.
if they're going to accept 2 people from one season, it's probably going to be Tiffany and Xavier, or Tiffany and Derek X and Xavier, some combination of those 3. But I would still love to go. I almost feel like a second chances season would be more appropriate for me because I love the game. Like I keep saying, I deeply respect it and its integrity. And I'm okay with saying that I did not play an all-star game last season. I don't think I played a $750,000 game. I don't think it was my season to win, but I would love to come back in like a second chances sort of capacity.
Or
And
if
I
they
think
did a doctor season, every cast member. is a doctor.
yeah. Oh yeah. So me, Dr. Will.
That's about it.
Oh,
Just-
okay. So we just automatically advanced to the final 2.
Joe, there's probably
I
some
believe
doctors.
there have been other
Maybe some
doctors on this
veterinarians in
show.
there, a dentist here or
Yes,
there.
there have been. Johnny Mack was a
John Mack,
dentist.
this is true.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back off the top of my head, but there have been a couple of
Brendan?
dentist. He's right about a vet. I believe there was a vet on the show. Brendan, you're right. Brendan would be
Is a
good to
PT.
be back on the show.
They
Yeah.
put John Cena in there. He used to be the doctor of thugonomics. They did
Oh
celebrities
my
with
gosh.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be able to see him.
him. He
Oh
cruised
my
to the
gosh.
end.
Yeah. So I would love to go back. Yeah. No, I would love to be able to play again and kind of unlock the potential that I saw in myself last season.
He played a good game.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
All things considering. I mean, you were the youngest house guest in the history of the show, and probably went a lot further than I think a lot of people would have assumed you would go. To start. So
yeah, no,
give yourself more credit.
oh, thank you. No, I will give myself credit. I just don't think that I played a $750,000 game. And I think it's important that we, exercise self-awareness here. Like I did the best I could do. I never said anything offensive. And overall, I'm proud of the way that I behaved and the way that I conducted myself in that house. But if I were like a podcaster ranking or like rating the games of the season 23 cast members, I would not put myself in the S tier or even the A tier. I would give myself like a solid B, maybe a B plus on a good day. Yeah. And I think that's appropriate. Like that's still pretty good. That's passing.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Very good.
Absolutely. So you come out of the house finally, you get your phone back. How many notifications did you have? And then you weren't really one for social media beforehand, it seemed. You didn't post too much. You still haven't posted much since, but how many followers did you gain when you turned your phone back on after the show?
Yeah, okay. So my phone almost broke. Like it started glitching because I just got so many notifications.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. So I deleted Instagram from my phone for days. I let's see. I deleted TikTok from my phone for a couple days. And I went on Twitter, but then I got really overwhelmed. So I deleted that. And I just had my sister and my friends run my social media accounts for me for like the week after the show. And then I finally was like, okay, I can do this. I don't think it's going to be as overstimulating. Um, and I don't remember the number. I think may have gained like 70 or
Ooh,
80,000
Wow.
followers over the course of a week. And I was like, why? Because it's not like I post, it's not like I give you content.
Right.
I would just save your, if you want to improve your ratio, please just unfollow me. Don't even worry about it. But yeah, that was wild because in the house, I didn't really expect anyone to be invested in me or my future or my success. Like I really didn't think anyone would care about me as an individual. So just to come out of the house and to receive nothing but love and warmth and support from fans, that felt good.
Okay, I could imagine for sure. Right? Well, sure, everybody reaching out to you and stuff, and you're like, "Well, I'm not. I don't think I'm anything special," but everyone's reaching out to you. It must feel good. That's for sure. We're-
Yeah, and I think more than anything, it was the people kind of talking about how the cookout changed their life
Yep.
because the cookout was the first time that they saw an alliance consisting of people of color, consisting of minorities that was able to succeed and beat all odds. And that's a really important reflection that people who look like me and other minorities, other people who come from marginalized communities can thrive, they can do well. Um, so that was the message that I wanted to send on this season, and to know that that message was received by some people and it was appreciated, that just warmed everything. I was like, who cares if I won, because
Yeah.
I accomplished exactly what I wanted to do this season.
You made history. Youngest house guest ever. First Indian American house guest ever. So you should be
Yeah.
very, very proud of yourself. And I'm
Thank you.
sure CVS enjoyed having you and whatnot, and you're under contract with them. Were you contacted to do the Challenge USA? And also, did you feel like the way they casted that show was very heavy from your season? That the idea of the producers was to perhaps kind of have you all go at it and implode, which kind of you did because Alyssa and Kylan and Derek X eliminated Xavier on the challenge.
Yes, absolutely. I think the cookout was contacted first to do the new show, and it was a lot of back and forth. Like, are you gonna do it? No, actually, now I changed my mind. Anyway, just through the grapevine, I was, I definitely thought to myself, it's not like we were the most dynamic or interesting season. Like, yes, we were historic and we were
Mhm.
trailblazing, but when you look at us as individuals, there wasn't much conflict. So, why would you want potentially 7 or 8 people from one season? Like, come on now. It's not like we're BB10 or BB6. That I could understand. Um, but I was like, I think there's something going on here. I think the producers may be trying to get our season to implode, and I don't want to be a part of that. I definitely was not willing to sacrifice my relationships with Alyssa, Derek X, Kyland, Aza, Tiffany, or Xavier. It just wasn't worth it to me. And then also with school, I
Yeah.
just couldn't afford to take another semester off.
Nope.
So a lot
Can't
of
fall
reasons as
behind.
to why
That's
I didn't
cool.
go. But
Fair
I'm
enough.
so glad I didn't, because that was dramatic. When they came home from Argentina one by one,
Oof.
I was like, I'm not envious of you at all.
Uh, yeah, I think you made the right decision, but I think if you did go on, you would have maybe done pretty well in the swimming competitions because I heard you could hold your breath for quite a long period of time. How long could you hold your breath for?
I how long can I? It's been a while. I have not hopped in a pool in a minute. So, is it a minute and a half, 2 minutes,
Wow.
something like that? I know it was on my
Right.
bio. So I would have to look at my bio to be honest. But Tyson is like a near Olympic swimmer. I don't think he ever went to the Olympics for swimming, but he like almost made it to the Olympics. So I don't think I know for a fact I would not have been able to outperform him in that department. Maybe I would have done well on any of like the math challenges or like
How
the
about
puzzle
Sudoku?
challenges. Yes. Oh, I'm really good at Sudoku, or however you say it. Let's see what else. Trivia. I feel like I'm pretty good at trivia. I know a lot of random things.
Derek X was pretty embarrassing at trivia.
Well, I mean, it's a hit or a miss because you
Right.
could know,
Depends on the topic.
exactly. You could know almost everything under the sun, but let's just say you didn't study actresses who have played Catwoman in the past, then there's really nothing you can do there. But I think I would have done okay on the Challenge USA. I think if anything, my social game would have saved me because people just look at me like the little sister and she's so unassuming and she's not plotting against anyone. She doesn't have a schemy bone in her body. Meanwhile, I would have been like this.
Friday the 13th, a little bit of evil inside her.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think
Yep.
Big D would have done on the challenge?
I think you got her. There you go.
Big D, honestly, I think Big D would have either been first boot or made it to the very end. Like no in between. So
he would have done good. He would have done well in a hall brawl.
He would have done really well at a hall brawl. But did they? Oh yeah, they did have a hall brawl between Enzo and Leo, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It's just his mouth gets him in trouble, and he is not afraid to argue or incite drama.
I think we'll see him on a future season of some sort of variation of the challenge, but I feel bad for, we'll see who his partner is because that person better ask for a lot more money.
Right. No, he needs to be back on TV. Like if there's one person from our season who was made for
I want to see him on Survivor.
I want to see Big D on The Amazing Race, to be honest.
Yeah, but again, he needs a partner who's going to put up
Frenchie and Big D on Amazing Race.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would go far.
Maybe Tiffany.
I don't know about that.
Okay, maybe
maybe you.
No. Maybe Derek X and Big D.
Derek X back on Amazing Race again.
D&D. There you go.
The
the double D's.
The double D's, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah,
I mean, they had a final 2 at some point in the Big Brother house.
Do you think we're going to see Derek X on Survivor? Is he going to just go through all the shows?
I hope so. He makes for really good television. Just because he's quirky and endearingly awkward. And I also, like, as someone who is Asian American myself, it's really refreshing to see more of us in these spaces. So if he wants to do Survivor, I would fully support him.
So what is next for you?
What's next? Well, I'm in the middle of applying to med school right now. So I'm just like in the midst of doing interviews for that. And hopefully I end up starting in fall of 2023, but I actually would go on the Challenge USA. Like if they decided to give me a call.
Just when you think you're out, they pull you right back in, right?
Listen, I don't know if they're interested in myself anymore. We're kind of old news, but CBS, if you're listening, I would love to do the Challenge USA. I just want to game with my friends again. Yeah. Like I think it'll be fun. I'm also organizing a really, really, really fun and elaborate game night. That's going to consist of a ton of people from Big Brother, Survivor, The Amazing Race, The Challenge, The Circle, The Mole, The Bachelor, and even some like musicians. So I think I want to live stream that or make it available on like Patreon or Twitch or something like that. Yep. But stay tuned for that. And
is that a world exclusive?
It's going to be in Chicago?
No, it's gonna be in LA. But
Okay.
it's gonna be epic, and I don't
Late
think
March, early April.
no in like a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on confirmations from people, but it's gonna be a very random group of people. Um, yeah, to the point where I was looking at the invite list and I was like, huh, I don't think this has ever been done before.
What kind
But
of game are you going to play? Monopoly, checkers?
oh no,
Travel.
it's gonna be like a pseudo Big Brother.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of like sequestered, but even bigger, even more epic. I don't think something like this has ever been
All right.
done.
So make sure you film it, do a good job. This could be your pilot. You pitch it to CBS, you're under contract, and you say, I'm going to be executive producer on this one. Pick it up.
Right.
We'll be good to go.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I just love gaming. I love hosting things and organizing events. So I figure why not? And it's literally going to be like the best of the best gamers that have appeared on reality television in a
gotta
long time.
get Janelle.
What?
Gotta get Janelle. Janelle's the best. The greatest
Well,
ever.
Janelle doesn't live in LA. So it's going to be like the people who live in
Oh,
LA.
okay. So you're gonna get her. Okay.
Yeah.
Is
But
Indy going to
it'll
be
be
there?
huh?
Indy? Anybody from this season going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it's going to be a very, very random group of people. Some people from Bravo.
Oh, some
Ooh.
Bravo celebrities.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
gotta be some
um,
Vanderpump people there, it sounds like.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
We got to stay tuned to your social channels to see.
No, for sure. It's going to be just a blast, I think, for us to participate in and also for people to watch. And CBS, if you want me on a second chances season of Big Brother next summer, give me a call. I'll be here. I'll put my life on hold for that, to be honest.
All right.
I will. It was so much fun. Like, you guys see the way that I light up when talking about my experience in the house and just how like
Yeah.
giddy I get. I loved it.
So for you, either in your life, your career, your education, or with television, what would you say is your I'm right moment? So what I mean by that is a time or place where you wanted to do something, you asked somebody for advice. They said, Hannah, don't do that. That's terrible. That's not going to work out. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And ultimately, you will see why it is that I'm right.
Oh, okay. Maybe for like when I made the decision to apply to BB, some of my friends and family members were like, that's such a long shot. Are you sure you want to like, because I was supposed to apply to med school during the last cycle, which means that I would have started med school in July of this year. And they were very much like, are you sure you want to put your life on hold for a year and delay your schooling? Do you think it's worth it? I mean, you're probably not going to win the game. And they were right about that. I didn't win the game, but I still believed in myself enough to take that initial leap of faith to hit the submit on my application with my sister's help. And I think it paid off. Yeah, even though my life is very like, how did I end up here? Because I was just introduced to the world of Big Brother not even 2 years ago. But I am just enjoying the ride, and I really do treasure the people that I've met from this world and this experience.
Expect the unexpected.
Right? As Julie
Right.
Chen says. Yes.
Oh wait, Nicholas loves it. He loves asking this question. Right. So when you're in the diary room for the eviction and stuff, obviously you can see Julie on TV in the living room, right? But when you go in, like, how is it like coordinating what you were gonna say and all that
Oh, like during rehearsal or for the live shows?
for the live shows?
Well, we would get rehearsal time earlier in the day when feeds cut out. So we would like conduct the eviction as we would during a live show, except they would give us a really fun prompt. Like, do you want to evict Batman or Superman? And our little group of house guests, I'm not sure if other seasons have done it, but we were just so smart and meticulous and calculated that we were forming alliances to like blindside Batman or Superman. I don't know. It was bizarre, and we definitely did too much. But we would walk into the DR. We would kind of like try out our material on Julie, and if she laughed, then I'd be like, okay, this is good. But if I didn't really get like a warm reaction from her, then I'd be like, okay, I gotta switch this up.
Yes, always got to impress the beautiful Julie Chen who invests. Hannah,
Mhm.
we thank you for your time. We really appreciate this. Again, we're becoming a Big Brother podcast now, it seems. So have so much fun. Nick and I have been huge Big Brother fans since we were younger. And
Aw.
what we do here is we always give our guests the last words. So if there's anything else you would like to share or promote for yourself, by all means, go ahead. Appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this. And whatever the next step holds for you, like, we wish you the best of luck.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for having me on. I have had a ton of fun with both of you. And also, I love the fact that Nick is a Bravo super fan, just like myself.
I don't know,
Um,
Hannah. I think you and I maybe need to do a Bravo podcast in the future.
Oh, Lord.
right?
There's
Joey,
not
you
too
can
many.
take
There's
the day
not.
off.
There's not too many heterosexual males who are openly out there screaming about their love of Bravo. It's a niche in the marketplace that I can take advantage.
Embrace it. Embrace it. Like I said, if there's one thing that viewers should take away from today's episode of your podcast, it's to embrace Bravo. Embrace your love and your affinity for it, because it's good. But I don't have anything to promote. I'm just kind of chilling at home with my family. But I do have a question for you. Since you guys are a sports podcast as well, who do you think is
Ooh.
going to win the Super Bowl?
Oh,
I think it's going
wow.
to be the Buffalo Bills, Hannah.
Really?
Where did that come from?
What do you mean? The Bills or my question?
The question. Wow.
Oh,
Nick,
no,
we got asked the question. That's a first.
I love it. I love it.
I love this. Expect the unexpected.
I think it's going to be the
Right.
Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I was going to say that we're going to play the Minnesota Vikings, but I don't know if I can count out Tom Brady. So I'm gonna say the Bills win the Super Bowl though.
Nick's gonna hate
Okay.
this answer. I think
What
it's going to be a rematch of a couple of years ago. I think it's going to be Kansas City and San Francisco. And I think the Chiefs are going to win again.
I was just going to say my money's on the Chiefs.
Big time sports better, Hannah.
Me? I used to actually. And
Whoa!
Yeah.
Well, you're in luck.
yeah. Oh, no. I can't be doing that anymore. I gotta save my money. But back in, let's see, 2019, 2020, and 2021, I would place bets on football, and I won maybe 4 figures. Yeah, over the
Ooh.
course of those 3 years. Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. If we ever get our own sports betting show, we have to have Hannah come on to do weekly picks.
Yeah, you come on for weekly appearances. You're going to
What
be
did I
so
say?
you're going to be so preoccupied.
I said calculated, composed, and versatile. You can bring me on for Bravo, Halloween episodes, Mother's Day
Mother's Day.
episodes,
Wow.
sports episodes, Big Brother, you name it.
Hannah, what's your
I'm-
favorite sports teams?
Oh, football wise? Well,
Every
football's
sport.
really
Every sport.
football's really the only sport that I watch. So I'd have to say the Bears because I'm from Chicago. I'm kind of obligated to like them.
How do you
the
feel about the way things ended between Kristen Cavallari and Jay Cutler?
I was not super invested in them as a couple. Like once he
Okay.
moved to the Dolphins, I was like, oh, okay, well, wish them well. But let's see, the Bears, the Vikings, because my parents are from Minnesota. But I really like the Chiefs. That's like my winning team. So I'd say the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Bears.
Fair enough. All right.
Mhm.
So this has been an incredible, very educational episode. You know, I'm right. We learned so much about Hannah. So Hannah, we thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the holiday season. Enjoy the game night. Enjoy your sports betting. And
Thank
just
you.
enjoy your life. We appreciate your time here. So that's going to do here for this episode of You Know I'm Right for our very special guest, Hannah, for my co-host, Joe Calabrese. I am Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.